Hey everybody, my name is Brian, and we are talking about Picard Season 2, Episode 8. And boy, is this episode a little bit of a letdown. I'll tell you why. Even though last week's episode was a letdown because nothing happened, this week's episode, a lot of stuff happened, but it feels like it probably definitely put it in the wrong direction. There's a few things that didn't make any sense to me. And we're going to get into that right now. Let's just start at the top. And if you're joining us right now for the first time, Shane isn't here today because he has to rewrite our script for Saturday's video because of all the changes that happened last night. So we're going to jump right into the review. Here we go. All right. It starts off with this odd, this kid in the woods or whatever. He's running from some shadowy figures, and right then you go, oh, okay. That is like the Romulans or the Vulcans or whatever that one unnamed kid was running from. And you're like, okay, finally we're going to see what that's about. And then, I guess it was foreshadowing because it jumps right over to FBI interrogation, where, our not time agent, I'm sorry, I gotta get that off my chest. Why would you choose an actor, not a cameo actor, not like an actor with a significant role from another Star Trek series that's in the same universe, that's part of the same canon, to play a different character in Picard? And especially when his original character was a time agent, and this entire season's about time travel, and you're gonna tell me, he is just a random FBI agent with a random backstory that doesn't actually move the story along whatsoever, that doesn't actually change anything. It was just a little side quest. If that's the case, I don't feel good about that. That sucks. I had such high hopes. When I saw him last week, I was like, hey, nothing really happened, but it's the time agent. It's the time agent, so maybe we'll get some heavy movement the next few episodes. Oh, but no, he's just an FBI agent that got fired because he ends up letting them go or whatever. Okay. So this moves on. He's basically looking for aliens, and he's doing this off-book thing. He picked up Picard and Guinan because of the transporter video footage, and he's really interested in them because he thinks they're aliens, and he's making a lot of jokes, and he's pressuring them. He's trying to catch them in lies. All right, cool. Again, it still looks at this point like it could be a time agent just trying to sort of suss them out before he reveals his identity. But that's not the way it goes. He ends up just being some low-level FBI guy that is infatuated with aliens because of a failed mind meld when he was a kid. I guess Vulcans were on the Earth in the 90s or whatever. And they were here in the 90s or the 80s or whatever time it was. And they were doing reconnaissance or research. And they tried to mind meld with him to take the memory out of his brain so it wouldn't ruin his life. But the mind meld failed. And now he's been obsessed with aliens and finding aliens his entire life. Now, the good thing about this episode, here's a good thing sound. The good thing is that they finally addressed where the hell Rios is, or Captain Rios, his comm badge was. Because this guy basically brings in the comm badge and it's like, now what, aliens? You tell me you're not an alien now? Because he has physical proof. Let's get past all this. All right. So I guess that was a good thing. Now we're back with Seven and Raffi. Seven and Raffi are trying to hunt down Girardi / the Borg Queen, because the Borg Queen is doing damage. And how is she doing damage? She's doing a bunch of damage, trying to like increase her endorphins or whatever so that she can take complete control over Gerardi. And apparently now she's also eating batteries. Sorry. Apparently now she's also eating batteries. So they explain it that she's eating these ion lithium batteries or whatever because it's a stabilizing metal and that she needs it for her nanites so she can form nanites so she can assimilate people. Now, that begs the question, how did she assimilate Gerardi? Perhaps she assimilated Gerardi with the last few nanites she had left, and you know, it was sort of a, maybe that's why it didn't take hold real quick, because it, like, you know, took time to take over her because they were sort of like not a lot of them. I don't know. There could be some explanation there. Whatever it is, you know, Seven and Raffi are looking for the Borg Queen. They're questioning people because Seven made it very clear she's no longer bored, and apparently that upsets her in some way, or maybe it doesn't upset her. I don't really know. Her emotions were all over the place. Jerri Ryan's acting this episode was not her usual self. She is clearly not in her comfort zone playing this character right now. Playing a human 7 of 9 who's in a relationship with a woman she barely knows. It's clearly out of her comfort zone, because I don't think she's doing her best acting this entire season, but especially this episode. Yeah, the FBI guy shows proof that they're out there, whatever. You know, you're trying to stop the launch, whatever. Let's get past this guy. We've already explained him. We want to get to Gerardi eating acid. Oh, wait. All right, really quick. Cora puts on some cool 3D goggles, and she activates Jarvis or whatever the computer's name is. Like, computer activate 2D 3D modeling scan question technical speak blah 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 blah. And apparently Q had put a little piece of himself in the system, a program or whatever. And that was a cool scene. And he sort of explains to her what's going on. I don't know why why does Q have such an interest in Cora? Why does he have such an interest in Dr. Soon? Was he trying to stop the Europa mission? It just seems like a whole lot like, oh, we really want to bring Q into the story, but they're not really giving Q anything to do. He even explains at some point that Picard isn't the one. I mean, he's not the one who brought them there. It was Picard or whatever. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like, what they're doing with his character is so, what's the word? I guess meaningless is the word. It just, there's no meaning to it. It's like he's the MacGuffin, but the MacGuffin doesn't matter, you know? I don't know. But overall, this scene with him interacting with Cora, or Core, whatever her name is, was sort of cool. So I'll give it that. But Cora is, I don't understand her character. I don't understand. Again, there's 2 episodes left, and I still don't understand anything. Like, even every time they give us answers, they give us even more questions. It's like I'm rewatching Lost, but it's like Star Trek Lost. You know? It's like Lost, but with Star Trek characters. They keep introducing new storylines and not paying them off, or confusing them, or like what they did with this FBI agent / time guy, which we thought, you know, introduce as like a cliffhanger, and then totally wreck them really quickly, so that he was not important. He had 0 importance. So Cora being a clone and being upset about it, and then like lashing out at Soon, I don't get. that whole thing with like, Q needs Soon's help, so I'm going to give you a little taste of this drug that's going to fix Cora, but it's not going to last very long. And then just giving her the antidote or the vial that fixes her or whatever. I want to give you your freedom. Here you go. Okay, but for what, Q? I don't understand your motivation, and it's literally impossible for you to explain his motivation in the next 2 episodes, given how much story you still have to tell. There is roughly less than 2 hours left in this season. Do you think they can possibly complete even half of the storylines they've now introduced in a reasonable way? No. In fact, if they do actually button up the story this season, then I feel like they're going to do a very poor job, and it's going to be very rushed, and there's going to be a lot of questions, and a lot of these threads are going to be this hanging, and it's disappointing because, Terry Matalas is a genius. He's very good. His other work on Star Trek and 12 Monkeys is very, very good. I mean, really good. If this entire show is basically a grandfather paradox or bootstrap paradox or whatever you want to call it, with like Picard creating the problem himself, even though he couldn't have created the problem unless he went back in time to create the problem in the first place, which he went back in time because there was a problem. So it doesn't make any sense. Again, it's like the grandfather paradox or the bootstrap paradox. The problem exists because of Picard, but Picard only caused the problem because the problem existed in the first place. So what is that? Is that a grandfather paradox? All right, let me look that up real quick. It's either a bootstrap paradox or a grandfather paradox or a reverse bootstrap paradox. One of the two. I'm going to look it up right now because we got to know. Because if that's the yes. A grandfather paradox is a potential logic problem that would arise if a person were to travel to a past time. Right? The name comes from the idea that if the person travels to a time before the grandfather had children and kills them, it would make their own birth impossible. All right, so that's the grandfather paradox. What's the bootstrap paradox? I should know this considering how many damn paradox videos we've done. I always get them confused. Here we go. Yes, okay. Yeah. So this is a bootstrap paradox. Bootstrap paradox. A bootstrap paradox is a theoretical paradox of time travel that occurs when an object or piece of information sent back in time becomes trapped in an infinite cause-effect loop in which the item or person no longer has a discernible point of origin and is said to have been said to be uncaused or self-created. It is also known as an ontological paradox. So, yeah. It's a loop. He basically got himself stuck in a loop that he caused somehow. If that's the way they're doing it, which it seems like that's what they're doing, it makes no sense. There has to be someone had to have caused the problem outside of Picard. That problem causes Gerardi, Gerardi Borg Queen, to live out this alternate reality and then interact with Picard and then use her power to shift them to her alternate reality so that Picard can go back in time and solve said problem. That is what should happen. I'm assuming what should happen is some outside force, for some weird, for some nefarious reason, changes time. Gerardi, in some way, is in the Borg Queen. She's in that alternate universe, and she gets that. See, even that would be a causality paradox, because how would Gerardi exist in the first place as the Borg Queen to shift Picard to that alternate corrupt timeline in order for him to go back in time in the first place and create Borg Queen Girardi. Ah, damn it! This is so stupid. This is so stupid. I hate this. Okay, one more time. Ready? All right, let's move on from this. Let's just keep going. If I get stuck on this stupid paradox crap, I'm going to be stuck here for the rest of my life. Because the problem with paradoxes, time travel paradoxes in TV shows, is that the viewer also gets stuck in this loop where he can't figure out the logic on how your universe works. And either they have to suspend disbelief and just accept that it works wrong, which is not good for Star Trek. Like, Star Trek is not a show that can work wrong. Or they have to be frustrated by something that works wrong. Like, there's no win here when you create a paradox and you don't pay it off. I mean, and I can't believe Terry Matalas can do that, considering his past work and how he dealt with time travel was so good, so significant. All right, so we're back. Whatever. Let's go back to this. Raffi and Raffi, whatever, 7 are looking for Girardi / Borg Queen. All right, they find a guy. He's dead. They find his phone. Move. All right, this is when they realize, okay, the battery has lithium-ion batteries, and she needs those for her nanites, her Borg nanites, so she can stabilize them and make more so she can, like, assimilate people. Okay. Right here, I'm on board. Sure, I guess, knowing nothing about how Borg Queen nanites work, I guess she would need some type of heavy stabilizing metal like lithium ion to do that. Okay. But then they catch Girardi / Borg Queen eating car batteries. Not just the lithium ion batteries, but the lead acid car batteries. They are two completely different things. They're different metals. They work differently. I understand that technically they're both batteries. Yes. They have a similar function in which they store and release energy, right? But they are two different technologies, two different metals, two different alloy. They work completely different. So if you just explain that she needs a lithium ion heavy metal stabilizer, then you show her eating car batteries. That previous explanation is completely null and void because they don't work the same way. She is not going to get the same benefit, and that's so stupid that I'm complaining about a science problem when it comes to Star Trek. I hate this. It's like the writers were like, yeah, she needs the lithium ion batteries, and someone did the research to figure out why she would need lithium ion batteries, the lithium ion metal for her nanites. And then someone else is like, yeah, there's a lot of lithium ion batteries. That's a great segue. And then someone else, like 2 weeks later, was like, oh, cool, there's also batteries in cars. Let's have her eat those too. And no one corrected that writer and said, they don't work that way. And I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but they don't work that way. So I'm nitpicking. They're two different batteries, completely different technologies. A lead acid battery and a lithium ion battery is like here's what it's like. It's like a vinyl record and an optical CD. It's like a CD, like a CD-ROM that you would put in like a CD player and play music, and a vinyl record. They do the same thing. Technically, they do the same thing. They play music on a device, right? But they are and they look similar, but they are so vastly different that if you needed the technology that came with an optical CD, you could not substitute a vinyl record. It just doesn't work that way. That is the only comparison I can give you. Yes, they both store and send out energy, right? Dispense energy. But they are vastly different things. The only thing that is the same about them is that they're called batteries because battery is a function. Same way you would call a CD and a vinyl record, a music dispensing medium, right? An audio medium. Yes, that's what they are, but they are so vastly different. You could not hook up you couldn't pull your lead acid battery out of your car and hook up a couple cell phone batteries, okay? It wouldn't work. So, this is dumb. And it's so dumb that it upsets me because this is Star Trek and you know that two different writers wrote this. One writer knowing that lithium ion batteries are heavy metals and stabilizing whatever and thought it would be a cool thing to add to the Borg Queen. And another writer later on that said, oh, cool, there's also batteries in cars, right? Oh my God. Like, what do you want from me? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Okay, let me just... Jeremy just said, it's okay, Brian. Eat a Snickers. Your blood pressure is getting high. God, it's so dumb. Okay, back to this. All right, so one good thing. I'm gonna say it again. I absolutely adore Jerri this season. I don't know what to tell you. I think that Alison Pill is doing a great job in that character. She is a literal 180 from last season. She's so much more likable and enjoyable to watch and see interact. Obviously, there's plenty of cringe stuff too, but she's great. And this scene with the Borg, black-eyed Borg jumping over the cars, heading for 7 is sort of cool. Grabbing Raffi. I'm not gonna lie. Right here, I was like, do it. Snap her neck. Oh yeah. You know that meme or that gif of Jack Nicholson going like this? That was me when she was choking the life out of Raffi. I was like, yes, rid us of this character, please. All right. She stops herself from killing Raffi, whatever, and she walks away. All right, let's fast forward through all this nonsense. This is when the FBI agents / not time agents oh, you're an alien, blah, blah, and he explains they do bring back Rios' speech where he tells the border agent that he's basically a spaceman in outer space here on a mission to save the world and time travel or whatever. Okay, cool. I mean, they found a way to bring that back, but you can say, oh, that it made that scene actually make sense now, right? But I would argue that scene didn't have to exist, and neither does this scene. Nothing that's happening right now on screen is important. If at some point it is important, fine. But you cannot create a scene that's unimportant and then later on say, oh, we have to pay off that scene and make it important. So you create an equally unimportant scene to try to pay off that previous unimportant scene. Because they both have zero weight, right? They, just like lithium ion batteries, right? Heavy metals, they're different weight. They both have zero weight to them. So this zero weight scene is explaining why the first zero weight scene is important, but because they both have no weight, it's a net zero. It all equals zero. It's like timesing 10, 400 billion, thousand, gazillion times zero. Well, it's zero. It's still zero. Nothing matters. This scene didn't matter, so that means that the scene that it was trying to make matter also doesn't matter. And if they pay off this scene in some way, I bet you $10,000, it's not going to matter. I hope I'm wrong. I desperately hope I'm wrong. Okay, now the only thing that good came out of this, ready, and is that they finally located Rios' comm badge, right? We talked about this earlier. Okay, they got his comm badge back because leaving the comm badge in 2024 would be no bueno. To quote Rios, it'd been no bueno. So they got his comm badge back. Cool. This whole entire thing was set up to get the comm badge back. That's really the only... I mean, I would even argue that even that wasn't important because he shouldn't have lost his comm badge in the first place. But whatever. Back on the ship. Well, here we go. Throw some filler in there of Rios and his new wife and stepson to be. Because there's... it's not like there's only... an hour and 48 minutes left in the entire series. Let's fill up a random 10 minutes of information that in no way moves the story whatsoever. It doesn't move the story along. It doesn't add context. It doesn't build any character that we care about. Nothing happens. There's an hour and 43 minutes left in the series, and we are spending 10 minutes on the ship with Rios and his new stepkid. Oh! Why? All right, let's move past this use. Yeah, oh, he loves the replicator again. Okay, cool. I mean, that would be cool. I would love to have a replicator. I would replicate. If I had a replicator, I would be like 700 pounds. Because I would just be replicating my favorite foods all day long. So I'm glad I'm a replicator. All right, moving on. I'm mumbling a little bit because I'm trying to push through this. I just realized it's like been 40 minutes and I'm still talking about the show. All right, getting past 10 minutes of nonsense where she speaks Spanish. Oh, she speaks Spanish. It's very multicultural. Okay, moving on. Subtitle. All right, we're back. FBI agent. Now he's somehow talking to Picard alone. I didn't understand that transition. I missed the part where Guinan just left the room. But, whatever. Guinan starts she comes in. She's talking to Q now. Q finally shows up. He's like, I didn't cause this. Picard caused this himself. And you're like, that's that one line where you're like, no. Picard couldn't have caused it because he went back in the first place because it happened. So you can't do it that way. It doesn't work. It's not logical. But there's one thing that did come to light here, and I'm gonna give it a. We did find out that my theory that Q is dying is correct. Apparently he's dying, or to put it in a better term, it's not that he's dying; it's that he can no longer see what's coming. And at first he thought that was interesting, but I guess it's if he can't see what's coming, that means he's probably not. That means I doubt that means that he's becoming human, and it probably means that he's dying, or it means that he's losing his powers and that's why he can't see what's coming any longer. Whatever it is, if he loses his powers, he's just human. He's basically just it's like the same as like killing a Q, So yeah, I was right. He's dying. Okay, good information. But this scene took way too long. And then it went back to Picard. And, by the way, I don't care how badly I'm criticizing this episode. I got to tell you, John Delancey, fantastical. His acting has been straight up spot on. I wish I could see more of him. I wish he wasn't a side character that didn't mean anything. That sucks. All right, moving on. Her nose starts bleeding. She starts having like weird. We'll get to that. All right, this is when Cora and Soon are fighting. He's like, I'm just an experiment. Again, like another 10 minutes of wasted time. I hate you. I love you. I hate you, Dad. No. I'm gonna leave. Oh no. Blah, 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 blah. No, don't leave. I'm just a failed experiment. I hate you, Dad. You suck. Blah, blah, blah. I'm leaving. Oh, I just experienced grass for the first time. It's wonderful. Cora, no, I don't want you to die. Oh, I'm going to hold up this magical MacGuffin that someone just handed me. I know you were trying to get it, for the first half of the series, but now I just have it in my hand because it was just mailed to me by a computer Q. Moving on. All right. He looks very upset. I mean, I gotta give it. Brent Spiner's doing pretty good acting too this season. All right, this is, Seven and Raffi getting a little spat. They're angry about something because he's not Borg anymore, blah, blah. Another useless flashback to Raffi and the dead kid, Eleanor. Apparently, we have to keep visiting the fact that Eleanor died. Holy crap. Another 10 minutes of wasted time. Again, everybody, there's roughly 2 hours and 45 minutes left. I'm sorry, an hour and 45 minutes left in the entire series. And we are now in the middle of a flashback with Raffi and Eleanor. And I can count on one hand the amount of people I know that care at all about this relationship, because it's worthless. Yet, oh wait, here we go. We're building the character for a dead guy, and we're building the character for Raffi, who I would argue shouldn't be there in the first place. But it's not answering any questions. It's not moving the story forward. All right. Clip, pass. All right, bye, Raffi. Okay, back to Seven and Raffi. They're fighting. Apparently, one good thing, ready? Seven finally called Raffi out for her crap for being a manipulative, abuser, which I thought was sort of out of left field, but accurate. All right, now Adam's soon upset. Oh, I lost my experiment. I'm going to drink this fifth of Jack. And here comes Gerardi / Borg Queen. So this is cool. I do like this. All right. One good thing. Back to Alison Pill as the Borg Queen. When she's she's channeling her inner 7 of 9. Very good. Very good. She's doing a very good job as the Borg Queen. All right, back. All right, this is when Guinan's freaking out, and he explains that he's got to save the universe, and this is when you see that he is the kid that got mind melded by the Vulcan that was on Earth, and it wasn't for nefarious purposes. No. They were just there studying things, and they tried to mind meld with him. Sorry. Because they wanted to remove the memories so he wouldn't obsess his entire life over seeing aliens or have some issues or affect the timeline. Apparently the mind meld didn't work. By the way, if you're a Vulcan, make sure the mind meld works before you transport out, dude, for real. And this is why he's on this never-ending mission to find aliens, because this moment in his childhood. And now that he finds aliens, he tells Picard, and Picard's like, no, bro, it's cool. They were just normal Vulcans doing a mind meld. It was no big deal. They weren't here for any purpose. I'm actually from here, but from the future. I'm here to save the universe. I need your help. Blah, blah, blah. So he basically leaves. He gets fired from his job. He lets him go. Blah, blah. We go back to the ship. For the obligatory, hey, you guys need help with Gerardi? Just reminding us that Rios is still alive. All right. And that's when she's talking to Guinan. Guinan's nose bleeds because of the time shenanigans and moving forward. Okay. All right. Now, this is when she's channeling her inner 7 and 9, and she does it fantastically. I really love the way she plays it. But it looks like the disgraced Adam Soon, who is wanted for multiple criminal conduct involving genetic experiments, makes a phone call and just gets a bunch of, crazy super soldiers to his house really quickly, so that the Borg Queen can use her rudimentary nanites to infect them. Jeez. That's just assimilate the super soldiers, the specimens, human specimens, whatever. All right. So I don't like this at all. I don't even know how. First off, why is Soon listening to this random person that just showed up? Yes, call your super spies and I'm going to infect. They have zero relationship. What is she offering him? I guess she's offering him his legacy, apparently. I don't know. It just seems sort of forced. And then these guys just show up quickly, and they just sort of allow the weird, creepy chick in the red dress and the frumpy hair to, like, inject them with nanites. Like, did not work. Loving the way Jerri's playing it. I mean, I think Alison Pill is killing her role. But I think that most of this doesn't matter. In fact, what's weird is I think Jerri / the Borg Queen might be the only thing in this entire series so far that does matter. Of course, you know, if the story's going to go where I think it's going to go. Jeez. So, one more time. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Shane, our theory is like totally wasted. Or at least mostly. Like, I will post our original theory in the description of this video, but you guys go check it out. Tell me, like, look at that theory and go, what's a better story? The story we're getting or the story that we theorize? Because, like, the kid in the trailer getting mind melded, it was like a red herring. It's not even important. It literally serves no purpose to the story. It was like they shot it so that they can put it in the trailer, and they had to pay it off somehow, so they made it a part of this FBI agent's past. The fact that they used the same actor from Voyager that played the time agent to play an FBI agent in a Star Trek time travel show makes, like, you could have hired anyone. Like, why would you hire that person? He had no contract. He wasn't, like, it makes no sense. And I know I'm about to wrap this up, but I know for a fact that Shane and I are going to talk probably for an insane amount of time about this tomorrow. And then I'm probably going to talk it to death on Saturday too for the Salty Nerd thing. So I'm going to stop talking about it now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this right now. I'm going to upload it, and I'm going to go watch the episode again. And, you know, maybe my review tomorrow is better than it was today. Because so far today, dumpster fire. So that's it. See you guys tomorrow. Come back for the live show tomorrow.